Here's how President Trump settled a case with himself. In January, President Trump sued the IRS and the Treasury Department over the leak of his tax information and sought $10 billion. President Trump was asked about his lawsuit on a flight to Mar-a-Lago.
I'm supposed to work out a settlement with myself.
And the president was right, because the Treasury Secretary is, the Supreme Court has said, the alter ego of the president, someone who has to do what the president says. So the idea of suing an agency of the federal government when you are the president is quite literally suing yourself. And on Monday, the Justice Department announced a deal in which he gets to essentially control the disbursement of almost $2 billion of taxpayer money in something people call the judgment fund, to people who've been harmed by the supposed weaponization of the Justice Department, presumably to allies, supporters, people like the January 6th rioters. The president and his family would not be eligible to make claims under this fund. But the next day, the acting attorney general announces the president will be immunized from having his taxes audited, that in effect, the president, who the Times has reported may well face $100 million in tax liability, is absolved of that. This whole arrangement is of questionable legality. The Constitution sets up checks on the president to prevent self-dealing and corruption. The civics idea that we have three branches and they're co-equal and they harmoniously check and balance each other so that we get something like good government. The Constitution says that Congress has the power of the purse, but it has delegated that power to the executive branch in this odd thing called the judgment fund to use taxpayer money to settle cases for whatever amount. It's an administrative convenience, because the alternative would be that Congress would have to pass legislation every time someone won a lawsuit. So that takes Congress out of the equation. On the judicial side, there needed to be a lawsuit for this deal to happen. But the lawsuit barely got started before they dismissed it. So no judge has blessed this deal. So that takes the courts out of the equation. And all of a sudden, the only branch that matters is the executive branch. The framers of the Constitution imagined there would be tension among the branches, but that they would be acting in good faith. What we see here, you could call it clever, you could call it cynical, you could call it bad faith, is at odds with what the framers anticipated.